I know it's been a while. How are you doing? How is everything with you? Sorry that you've not been seeing my videos. Combining video with my work, I'm not finding it so easy. You know, I told you I just moved, so that has really taken my time to, I've spent so much money, I need money. So pardon me, but don't worry, very soon I'll try and see how I can match up again. I have so many videos to post. So how are you guys doing? Today we woke up to the news this afternoon. Actually, the news of Ekweremadu sentencing came on board, and I have brought you the short clip of the video of when he was being sentenced. I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for still being here despite my absence. To my new subscribers, I want to say thank you for subscribing. If you have not yet subscribed, this is time to subscribe. Why don't you click the subscription button and turn on your notification? The evil that men do live after them. We all remember the case of Ekweremadu, the young boy that he tried to harvest his organ. And, they've been on the case since last year when it broke out that they took a young boy, a vulnerable, poor person to UK to harvest his organ for their children. Of course, by now you should know that there is a procedure in harvesting organ. You can't just carry somebody on the street and say they should donate their kidney to you. There are rules guiding it, and it is not something that the developed world take as with levity. If you take somebody without due process, you are considered to be doing trafficking and organ harvesting, and it's a serious crime in developed countries. So, the news has been on for some time, and they said the guy is 21. They say the guy is a minor. Many of us have followed the story, so don't let me bore you with the story. So today, Ekweremadu, the former Senate President of Nigeria for 16 years, who couldn't get anything done in that country concerning health sector in that country. For 16 years as a Senate President, maybe he felt because he's a rich man, they are untouchable. And of course, the daughter became sick and they needed to do kidney transplants. They ran to UK and got into trouble. At a point, they tried to go to Turkey to see if they could get another kidney donor, okay? And the young boy they took there was promised a large sum of money. In fact, that procedure was to cost them about £80,000 to do. Imagine £80,000. And these people, they are wicked, though. These Nigerian leaders, they are wicked. This man, Ekweremadu, the time they gave him is not even much because he got a soft landing because Obasanjo meddled into the issue. If not for Obasanjo, that is how he deserved more than what they gave to him. Even the wife was not given enough. They said because she has been on maybe probation, whatever they call it, monitored jail time kind of, where they monitor her from certain time to certain time. And because of that, and because of Obasanjo wrote a letter to them, Nigerian leaders, no. Those people are something else. Anyway, today, I will let you watch the video of the proceeding and how everything went, how they faced the court, how the judge read out their judgment is included in this video. I don't know what you think. I want to read from you. And do you think they got enough jail time, in your own opinion? Do you think what they got was commensurate or aligned with the crime they almost committed? Because organ trafficking is as good as slave trading and human trafficking too. Organ trafficking is as much as almost killing somebody, especially a poor person that if those people have succeeded, that boy cannot live long. So Orilo Komonyeyo, like they will say, na Ed, help that boy where he escape this kind of thing. So as it is, the boy himself is seeking for asylum, that they should not send him back to Nigeria. That if they send him back to Nigeria, he might end up being killed, which is true. So hopefully the UK government listen to this boy and give him asylum in their country so that he can be safe. Because for real, that guy cannot be safe going back to Nigeria. Until I come your way again, I remain yours, Aduni. I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself earlier. My name is Aduni, and the name of this page is Real Talk with Auntie Aduni. I would love to read from you concerning this case, this court judgment given to Ekweremadu, the wife, and the doctor that is involved in this case. Thank you very much for watching.
The applicable starting points are custodial sentences of 10 years in the case of Abina Abeta, 10 years and 6 months in the case of Ekweremadu, and 6 years in the case of Beatrice Ekweremadu. Abina Abeta, stand up please. There are aggravating features in your case. You deliberately targeted a victim who was particularly vulnerable due to his young age, his isolation from his immediate family, and his poverty. After the conspiracy to exploit C was thwarted, you continued to try and find another person to be exploited in the same way. As against that, you have no previous convictions, and you are a person of good character. I accept that you have done much good work as a medical doctor. You also have your own serious medical condition, as someone who has himself undergone a kidney transplant. I've taken account of the medical evidence. That does not suggest that your condition cannot be adequately managed in custody. I consider that the mitigating and aggravating factors are in balance. I sentence you to 10 years imprisonment, subject to allowing for the time for which you have been remanded in custody. You will spend 2/3 of that time in custody and will then be on licence until the end of your sentence. You can sit down, please. Senator Ekweremadu, stand up, please. There are substantial aggravating features in your case. You knew that the donor was vulnerable because of his young age and his poverty. You had a profound understanding of the impact of poverty because of the work you have done for the ECOA Foundation. You gave direct instructions to ensure that tight control was exercised over C. Once the transplant did not go ahead, you immediately sought to find another person to be exploited in the same way, rapidly managing to identify several potential candidates. As against that, you have your own ongoing health problems. You have no previous convictions and were a person of good character. I accept Mr. Hicks KC's description of you as having exceptionally positive good character, and that your conviction represents a very substantial fall from grace. You set up the ECOA Foundation and have funded that organisation, which undertakes a very great deal of valuable charitable work to help those living in poverty in Nigeria. At trial, there was a great deal of character witness testimony, including from Archbishop Emmanuel Chukwuma, the Archbishop for the Diocese of Enugu. I have been provided with a bundle of 51 pages of character statements for the purpose of sentencing. I have read all of them. They include statements from a former president of Nigeria, the current president of the Senate, the Bishop of Enugu, the Attorney General and the Chief Law Officer of Nigeria, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. That evidence speaks to your role in helping to establish and maintain democracy in Nigeria, and also as an international peacemaker. The evidence also includes moving pleas advanced by some of those who have benefited from your generosity and good works. and also a moving statement from your daughter, Sonia. I take all of that into account. It amounts to substantial mitigation. You were motivated by the despair of your daughter's very serious illness. The weight to be attached to that factor is limited by reason of the fact that, as you recognized in your evidence, you could have sought a genuinely altruistic donation, including from a family member, albeit not Sonia's immediate siblings. After taking account of the aggravating and mitigating factors in your case, I impose a sentence of 9 years and 8 months imprisonment. Subject to allowing for the time which you have spent remanded in custody, you will serve 2/3 of the sentence in custody and will be on licence thereafter for the rest of the sentence. You can sit down. Dr. Beatrice Ekweremadu, would you stand up, please? In your case, I adopt a starting point of 6 years custody. I do not consider that the aggravating factors that are present in the case of your co-defendants apply to you. You were not directly involved in the identification of the donor, and the evidence does not show that you were directly involved in the attempts to identify a further donor after the transplant did not go ahead. I take account of all the mitigating features that Mr. Mahindru KC has identified and the content of the thorough and helpful pre-sentence report prepared by Jessica Stephen of the Probation Service. You are a person of good character. You helped set up the ECOA Foundation with your husband, and you have been closely involved with its important charitable work. Much of the character evidence I have read applies also to you. You were also motivated by the desperate plight of your daughter and by maternal love. Further, in your case, I accept that although Sonia is an adult, you have substantial caring responsibilities towards her. Your incarceration will have a significant impact on her, in that she will no longer be able to rely on your presence as a source of care and support. Having regard to those factors, I impose a sentence of 4 years and 6 months imprisonment. You have spent 234 days on an electronically monitored curfew between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. I specify that the credit period for the purposes of Section 240A of the Criminal Justice Act 2003 is 117 days. So that period shall count towards your sentence. Subject to that, and subject to allowing for the time you have spent remanded in custody, you will serve 1/2